Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here, as you guys can see up on the screen. Today, I want to talk a little bit about Sofi Technologies Incorporated. This is ticker symbol SOFI. And overall, today was a decent day for Sofi. We're up 1.11%. Yes, after hours, we are now down 0.47%. So, hey, after hours, maybe not doing so good. We'll see if that momentum carries into tomorrow or anything like that. But again, a pretty good day. Kind of a weird, quiet day in the market today. Dow Jones up 0.2, S&P up 0.48, NASDAQ up 0.22, and the Russell up 0.85. So overall, as far as those four major indices go, SoFi outperformed all of them, even though, being a little over 1% up isn't the most insane day in the world. We'll take those things. And, if you're outperforming the S&P, if you're outperforming the NASDAQ, stuff like that, and you're able to do that consistently, then, hey, that's how you get things back on the right track, even though 2022 has not been the best year for SoFi. It hasn't been the best year for a lot of stocks. So we'll be going over the latest for SoFi in this video today, all the news, different things I think you need to know about or should know about or that I just kind of want to talk about. So definitely drop a like if you guys do enjoy it. I would appreciate that so much. Subscribe to stay up to date on all my latest content. And of course, as always, there's not going to be any financial advice in this video today, guys. I'm not telling you to buy anything. I'm not telling you to sell anything, nothing like that. Just giving some of my thoughts and opinions, going over some news, going over some different posts, articles, all that and good stuff. So I don't know. With that being said, let's get right into this. So here we go. Very first article I want to talk a little bit about is this one from investorplace.com. Should investors buy SoFi stock prior to the May 10th earnings? So a couple things there. One, obviously, if you didn't know or hadn't heard, or hey, if this is news for you, May 10th earnings. This is what is today? Tuesday? Next Tuesday, I believe the SoFi earnings are going to be coming out. So that should be very, very interesting. That's a big catalyst to kind of have on your radar. Whether or not you think SoFi is going to run up after earnings, stay flat, go down, whatever, it's probably going to be a time of heightened volatility, but also it's going to be a catalyst. We're going to get some kind of news. We're going to get, tons of people diving more into SoFi. And again, that could be a really good thing. It could be a regular good thing, could be a really bad thing, could be a kind of little bit bad thing. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But at least as far as Investor Place goes, check out this whole article if you guys want. But I wanted to skip down to the end that says there's plenty of upside in this stock. The average consensus target stock price is $14.41, and again, we are right now at $6.40. So yeah, plenty of upside. I mean, the kind of consensus from analysts is that this stock has the potential to more than double, even in like a year or two, so that's kind of interesting. But does that mean that they're necessarily going to skyrocket off this next earnings report? Not necessarily. They say investors have no idea what will happen with student loans, and that directly affects the potential of SoFi stock. Again, we know that the market hates uncertainty. The market would rather have bad news than the potential of bad news. Then at least you know what's going on and you can properly value it or try to value it. But if you don't even know what the worst case scenario is, there's going to be some pessimists out there that are always like, oh, hey, well, what if it turns out being even worse than we think it's going to be? So the fact that there still has not been a decision made about the student loan moratorium, I think is worse for SoFi than, maybe even the worst possible news we could realistically get about the student loan moratorium. But we'll have to wait and see. But yes, that probably will not have an outcome by the time May 10th rolls around. So that does affect SoFi stock. With President Biden stating that some form of student loan forgiveness is likely in the next few weeks, it becomes very difficult to project company revenues for SoFi, so I would say that investors should not buy the stock prior to the May 10th earnings report. Too much remains up in the air, therefore it is too difficult to predict what the company's fundamentals will look like at this time, and generally I agree with that. Now again, if Biden does come out and give some kind of student loan relief, but then student loan payments start back up, that overall would be a good thing for SoFi. Because again, right now, their expectations for 2022 don't have any student loans in the projections or in their breakdown of 2022 or anything like that, because they've been operating under the kind of assumption that this thing could get pushed back all the way into 2023. So if student loan payments do start back up at some point in 2022, that will be an increase to the expectations in 2022 for SoFi. So that's kind of an interesting thing to note as well. But again, in 7 days, do I think anything's going to change too crazily for SoFi? Am I expecting a really, really big earnings report that's going to make this stock go crazy when we've had a pretty weird earnings season where a lot of other companies have reported decent to even good earnings and gone down or been hit pretty hard? I don't know why SoFi would be the one kind of outlier there, but it's always possible. But hey, this is what Investor Place thinks. Some of the different things that people are talking about on the SoFi stock subreddit. This guy's talking about student loans. He says, in his opinion, the federal government has handled the whole situation horribly with indecisiveness, which I think, almost everyone would agree with. In the end, I think debt forgiveness is going to be extremely limited to a small fixed amount and targeted at lower income individuals. Again, I wouldn't really be surprised if that is the case. But he says smart borrowers should still be refinancing their loans because the rates they're able to refinance at are only going to be going up as the government continues to raise rates. The government has created a situation of extending the moratorium, which is eventually going to negatively impact most of those people who aren't thinking about how the continuous delays has also impacted the rates they can refinance at if they only did it sooner. And yes, that is actually a very, very interesting point that I've not heard very many people bring up. Like, people are not refinancing because they don't want to start paying back, and they're trying to wait and see what's actually going to happen, see if any of their student loans get forgiven. Maybe they're all going to get forgiven. Maybe the payments will keep getting pushed back, and they can just keep saving and saving and saving and not have to deal with it. But yeah, in that meantime, the rates are rising and rising and rising. And by the time they finally decide to start paying back and to refinance, they're going to end up with a way worse rate. And over the course of, 2, 5, 10 years, whatever the repayment plan is, they're going to end up having paid more money in the long term than if they just would have started paying now and got to refinance at some insane rates. So, yes, people with some foresight or people who are, feeling risky enough to make that prediction, they can potentially make out better. But yeah, the federal government doesn't seem to be doing anyone really any justice at this point. Like, it's bad for the people, it's bad for the businesses, it's bad for the loan people. Like, I don't know. I do agree that this situation has been wildly mishandled. Now, hey, a global pandemic makes things pretty crazy. There's not exactly a playbook for this stuff, but yeah, I mean, we're going on the third year of this whole thing now, and still we don't have a whole lot of answers. SoFi's market cap is under $5 billion. This was from 2 days ago, so at least at the time that this came out, I don't know if it'll say what SoFi is right now. This has them at 5.3, but either way, they're right around $5 billion. They've been, bouncing on and off all-time lows for the past couple of weeks, but hey, their market cap is around $5 billion. This is really, really low for SoFi, especially historically, and, there's some people saying, hey, maybe this thing's going to keep going lower and lower and lower. Maybe SoFi sucks. Maybe it's doomed to fail, but a lot of other people saying out there as well, hey, maybe you're able to get SoFi at a really, really great price today, and maybe $5 billion market cap for a company like this with insane growth projections and insane just kind of revenue potential and profitability right around the corner. Maybe this is a very, very steep discount. Maybe this is a very, very great deal for a company like this. But then we also have the SoFi Hong Kong app, which is something a lot of people have been talking about. They said, hi guys, just looking through the app store and decided to search SoFi, which came up with SoFi Hong Kong. The app has a 3-star user rating. Anyone else thinking 3 stars is bad and needs improving? Just reading through some of the comments on there wasn't great either. And this has been something people have been talking a lot about, how like the apps kind of suck, the UIs kind of suck, the customer service kind of sucks. That SoFi's having a lot of these issues. And this is kind of an underrated deal. Like, hey, if you want to be, this futuristic fintech, bringing financial and technology together, and you want to have all this member growth and all this stuff, like, you need to have good apps. You need to have good technology. You need to have good user interface, and you need to have good customer service and customer support, especially as you grow. Like, hey, SoFi is still kind of in its early days and its early stages. And if you want to grow and grow and grow, customer service and customer support gets harder and harder and harder the bigger you grow. So this is definitely something that a lot of, SoFi investors or a lot of people who are maybe skeptical about SoFi or a lot of people who are on the fence about it really wish they would improve, but just kind of bringing this stuff up once again. We also had this hints of custom portfolios in the SoFi app data. This guy said, text strings from SoFi's app are suggestive of a potential customizable portfolio feature. Stuff like adding to portfolio, buying portfolio, selling, buyable portfolios. How do I sell my portfolio? Stuff like that. And they are saying that this text may indicate a potential feature similar to Pi's from M1 Finance, which I think could be something really, really cool if that does come to SoFi. This would be an awesome feature to see, and I don't really see any major downsides to this. People are talking about Stock Goat, Kyle White Goat on Twitter, and he lays out his kind of potential plan for SoFi 2022 to 2032, his 10-year price target. Compound growth estimated 30% from 2026 to 2032. Revenue of $22 billion, net income margins of 35%, profits of $8 billion, PE ratio of 40, market cap of $320 billion, which again gets him to his price target again, I believe in 2032 of $354. Now, some people like Stock Goat, some people hate Stock Goat, some everywhere in between, but this is at least him breaking down his numbers, showing what his are looking like, and I do think this is like an absolute bull case, but maybe this shows the potential of where this stock could be headed in the future. Now, hey, obviously this doesn't really, factor in stock-based compensation or dilution or things like that a lot of other people are worried about, but we'll have to wait and see there. We also had people talking about this, a deeper look into Tink. People are deciding to take a look into Tink due to Visa's acquisition of them, and it's sounding as if Tink will be a competitor to SoFi's tech platform, and people kind of, just taking a deep dive into this. So this is maybe, kind of something to take a look at if people are interested in this, because, hey, obviously more competition for SoFi, especially from somebody like Visa, would maybe be a little bit of a downside, would maybe be a little bit of an issue. So maybe this is something to keep an eye on, but this is something that I've not dove into a ton yet, but it is something out there that people are talking about. We also have SoFi app data suggesting that Twitter feeds may be coming to invest and confirming beta testing of options trading, which is obviously a pretty big deal for a lot of investors out there, especially younger retail investors and audience that SoFi might be trying to reach and get to. So this could be something to look out for. And then this is also really, really good news. This was 5 days ago, so this is kind of old, but I did want to follow up on a story I talked about previously, that it does look like the SoFi app is finally back on the Google Play Store. I don't know officially how long it was down for, but it was days, and it was way longer than I thought it was going to be. And this was, I really think, not a good sign and not a good thing to be happening and going on, but hey, at least it's finally back up on the Google Play Store. That's good news to see. Hopefully it stays up there. Hopefully that's all under control. But that's pretty much it for this video today, guys. Let me drop a like if you did enjoy it. I would appreciate that so much. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about SOFI. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Subscribe to stay up to date on all my latest content. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace.